Everyone, welcome. Hi gozaimasu. Another video here from the Tokyo real estate man. And the other day, as you know, I am a gold bug. Just looking at the silver, the metals markets they're still running right now. And silver per ounce is up to 52, 54. That's probably an all-time high right there. And looking at the gold market here, gold 1 ounce 4,000, basically 200. It's going to break through there pretty soon. And as I mentioned on this channel before, I am a gold bug. Do I necessarily want to be a gold bug? Not really, but this is just, it's just sort of the situation that we're in right now. I always like, and with the backdrop of this channel, obviously, is Tokyo real estate, and I'm going to get to a listing that we're going to look at today in Jimbocho. But at the same time, too, I'm really glad to talk about some of the philosophy that I have behind my thinking, and it's a hard asset. I'm a hard asset investor, and the philosophy of the gold bugs and the silver bugs or the metal bugs has been just a big influence on me in my lifetime. Also, like. Here you see, here it is on DeepSeek. This is an interesting one too. To understand Japan coming out of or through the lost decade or the 1990s, this one book, and it's been in the video as well, The Princes of the Yen, is really sort of important. And I asked here DeepSeek to give us a sort of synopsis of The Princes of the Yen, and this is how it comes out. The Princes of the Yen argues that Japan's prolonged economic stagnation from the 1990s onward, known as the lost decade, was not an accidental outcome of unavoidable market forces or simply an asset bubble popping. Instead, it was the deliberate and calculated transformation engineered by the Bank of Japan to break the post-war Japanese economic model and reshape the country's financial structures. Okay, so basically Japan's national system, it basically worked too effectively. Okay, and I'll just say it like this: the people behind the Bank of Japan, let's call them the international bankers. Okay. They can see that the Japan's national system, and where else has the national system been used? I think you can use the case. It's been used in Germany before. It's been effectively used in the United States before. But again, the bankers, they always try, when they see this national system work too well, they try to use their financial sort of instruments or power to destabilize basically the economy. Now, however, on a personal level, as a person that came in the 1990s to Japan, maybe this sort of thing, I was like lucky to sort of just be there. My timing was definitely good for me. So this is always in the background, okay? And then we have the Japanese sort of the Japanese sort of debt, the most in the world that we own. I always have this question: who do we own this to, or who do we owe this debt to, right? And why can't we renegotiate it? But that's like never. We have a new prime minister in Japan, right? Does anyone ever bring this up that we could renegotiate this debt? No, it's never talked about. So the reason I'm kind of a gold bug is because of this powerful group. And I'm perhaps not explaining it very well. I explained it pretty well in a short video lately that I talked about collateralization, who collateralizes Tokyo, which is the banking interest. And when you go to Tokyo or Japan, you'll see that the most powerful banking interests, the mega banks of Japan, they operate basically inside Tokyo. And when you get away from Tokyo to, I have a house in Tokomachi in Niigata, Japan, right? They don't really operate there. more local banks like JA operate in places like that, which is Japanese Agricultural. JA is just a big, maybe the biggest bank in the world. That's is basically who operates in the Japanese countryside, for example. That would be a local player. If you'd like to go further down this sort of rabbit hole, you can. There's a great analyst. His name is Alex Craner, right there. Alex Craner. I suggest that you watch some videos that he's on. He explains this in probably more articulate ways than I do right here. But yeah, this man really understands it. He explains it really well. And at the heart of everything is the bankers, right? And then their control of basically Japan, or basically the international economy. Like, why, for example, does the United States want to have a war with Venezuela? Ultimately, it's just my opinion. They just want to get in there and collateralize that basically oil, okay? And that's a really viable piece of, and they'll get their multinational companies, BP, Gulf, Mobile, all to go in there, and then they'll collateralize this. And anyhow, I don't have to. I'm going to get to some real estate, but this is a person that you should really always be watching, which is Alex Craner, because he really understands it very, very well. That's why I get into the argument that I have on the 35 flat. Whereas if you're a person living in Japan and I've thought that at least the flat 35, I would say it the opposite way, gyakuni, 35 flat, but the 35 flat is a good way to get financing in Japan. You can get a 35-year flat rate at 1.87%. The first 5 years of the loan are at 0.87%. This is a way of sort of circumventing the power of the banks in a way. Anyway, I'll come to some. I'm going to cut over to some real estate now. That's kind of a little bit of my thinking with hard asset investing. And do I necessarily want to be a gold bug? No, I don't. Actually, I would just say, if I was the Prime Minister of Japan, the new Prime Minister of Japan, I would just try to renegotiate the Japanese debt. But yeah, that's never talked about. So we're all a bit. So as what sort of leverage do we have as regular people? We have instruments like the flat 35. We can get a guaranteed loan over 35 years. That's not going to go up. Another instrument of it is hard asset investing through gold or silver, for example. Okay. So this is kind of my thinking with it. Anyway, I'm going to cut over here to the map. Happy to see. I'm not happy to see the silver price running, but that's just what's happening right now. Okay, here the map. Here we got it over. Is this going to be Jimbocho station? I think this sort of area of this is Jimbocho over here, right here. It's considered. I think it. I saw something on the internet, and some. I don't know whether it's true or whether it was noise. It said Jimbocho was it won the coolest neighborhood in the world, and it's a really interesting neighborhood if you have a chance to go in there. Sort of in this Chuo line corridor between. This is going to be like sort of condo over here, and traditionally this is where the Japanese publishing industry was based, and the publishing industry is less powerful now because everything is now online, and it's the electronic sort of the electronic arts or the YouTubers and that they don't really dominate in this neighborhood. They're more on the other side, on the Shibuya side now. But this was a very powerful neighborhood during all the years, I guess, up until about the late 1990s, when the Japanese publishing industry sort of becomes to be less influential. By the way, you'll notice that the publishing industry is placed right next to the conglomerates power here, which is the Emperor's Palace here in the Konda area, or Chiyoda. This is the Emperor's Palace right here. Anyhow, we're going to look at this apartment right here, which is in Ocha no Mizu, which is this is Ocha no Mizu, and Korakuen, which is major amusement, just a little amusement. I guess sort of up here, Ocha no Mizu. This is the apartment we're going to look at today. Normally, I look at units that are over 30 meters because you can get financing for them. However, in that the price is going up in the Tokyo market, I'm trying to look at more affordable ways for people to get into the Tokyo marketplace. I think it's better to own units that are over 30 meters. For example, like this one right here. Let's press this yellow one. Let's see the price of it here. You see it as 27. This is a 27 meter unit. Looks to be in a newer building for 6,280 mon. So definitely it's half the. We're looking at something that less than half the price of that. Was that this one right here? Where'd I have it? Yeah, this is the one we're going to look at right here. And yeah, I'm just going to click it right now. It's been all. This one has recently been renovated, but it didn't have any very good pictures. Not really been updated in any substantial way in terms of pictures right here, but of the unit itself. But there's some things that I really liked about it. I like to look at this one balcony right here, and I don't know because this is some weird things in this one building that we'll have to talk about. But this is the building right here, and I like it a lot. I just like the look of it. This is a building that was built basically, it says here, in the 1980s. So this is when this one was built. This is probably when the Japanese asset market was being, or the real estate market was being run up. And then it sort of crashes here in the late 80s, I guess. And that's basically when the sort of the princes of the yen sort of come in to play, whereas the Bank of Japan didn't really give any support to the asset markets of Japan at that time. They didn't print any money. They just let it suffer from deflation, which is, I guess, was really lucky for me as a person that came in into Tokyo in the 1990s on a personal level. However, at the same time, it really crashes the Japanese financial system, and it weakens it. And the princes of the yen, if you get into the video or into the book, this was designed by the bankers. Anyhow, this is a really cool building. I like it, and it's really sport to speaks of that sort of 1980 vintage of buildings right here, and it's really great location here. Let's see if I can get the even the name is called Imperial Ochano no Mizu, and then it's a one room, which is just a one. This is a basic bottom of the end of the market, or Tokyo market sort of unit right now. Very nice building with some commercial zoning here on the first floor. And yeah, this is the entrance to the building right here, which is a positive and a minus, because maybe this is not a very positive one if you're an older person. You prefer to have something with no stairs going into the unit, but it is a auto lock. And 2 elevators in the building, and I own a building, or not a whole building, but I own a unit in a building very similar to this one, and I think it was built basically in the very sort of same time. So I think it's got basically the same sort of elevator system in there like that. Here, though, this is all the Amazon boxes that you'd have right now, and there's the elevators back here, and you can see even here it has the sort of 1980s bubble furniture. Actually, some of this stuff might have not been updated since the 1980s, and that speaks to the real quality of it. And in some ways, it speaks to that effectiveness of that national system and that national quality that was really working in the Japanese, the basically run up to the lost decade. These chairs might be from that age, and they're still existing now 50 years later because of its quality. And this table too might be from that sort of age, and all of this stuff is still existing right now. I could be right or wrong on this one, but I don't think I am. And the national system in Japan worked because it was so qualitatively based. And then like certainly everybody knows that Japan manufactures quality, right? And the reason that these chairs were able to last from 1980 to now is because of quality. And you can see it in other things too. In terms of like the tile on the outside of this building and the construction of this building, it's built in it's very strong. Like, and for a 50-year-old building, it looks to be in really good shape right now. So, yeah, let's go through the pictures. I guess it's a 40-year-old building. I could have been exaggerating that a little bit. But that's some of the background of the Princess to the Yen, is that the Japanese national system works. And it really works in other ways, too, in that the culture is a hardworking culture. And it doesn't get destabilized with things like drugs, because that doesn't come into the Japanese culture. And when you go to Tokyo, that's why you don't see the streets full of junkies and stuff like that. And it was a really effective system in Japan, and that's why it's argued in books like The Princess of the Yen that it's taken down. This is interesting. This has a coin laundry here in this building, and this could be considered a weakness, because I'm not sure, because I don't have any internal pictures of this unit, whether there's laundry hookups or not, but I'm guessing it does. Okay, so this is, again, this totally circa 19 sort of 80 sort of design right there. This is the management, or this is the Kanrishitsu, or the building manager, who's probably on site. That's all I have for pictures on this one. We'll come down here to the sort of listing, and yeah, really great location. Okay, this one here, the Tokyo Metro, and this is the Chiyoda line right there, and Shin Ochanomizu Station right there, 4 minutes right there. And these are the other lines. It's on the Toei Shinjuku line, and this is Kokawa Cho Eki, or Ogawa Cho Eki. Okay, and this one is Jimbocho Eki, 5 minutes from there as well. So the location right here is basically A number 1. The management of this is 99 or Kyusen Kyuhyaku, and the repair fund fees is 65 Canadian a month, or 6,590. Very standard for Tokyo. This is interesting right there. There's a hot water fee, because I think that there's probably there's not a gas hot water fee. I think this is standard electrical hot water system here in this building, and it's referring something here to the water here every month. I don't know this. I'd have to get the details from the listing agency about how the water works but in this building, it looks like the hot water system and the water system is centralized, which is a little bit different than other sort of buildings. South-facing unit. Again, what happens? The Japanese system becomes to be very effective, okay, through the 1970s and the 1980s, and it is in some ways like what it's doing. I'm going to come up here to the top of the listing, but what they're doing better is the intelligence of the people or call it the building industry, call it the architects. They're just laying the buildings out in really intelligent ways, so that this balcony of this unit, for example, is facing south. Okay, and then what does it do when it's facing south? It allows people to dry their laundry better. Okay, because it has all that sunlight. Okay, so that's one intelligent way they can design the cities. And then when you dry your laundry, because you're given the southern exposure, what does the economy get? It uses less electricity. Okay, it allows it to create a surplus. And all the years from the post-war, when they destroy the country for no reason, okay, from 1945 all the way here to 1985, and even now it has a current account surplus, which makes it very, very powerful. And that's just one sort of aspect of why the Japanese national system is so effective. You create this great education system, and it creates architects and builders that are designing things in very intelligent ways. Now, it said that all the reform basically, or the renovation, has been done here in August of this year, but we don't have any up-to-date pictures here. It's on the third floor of a 12-story building built in 1980. Of course, it's reinforced concrete, 3.81 meter, basically a 4-meter balcony. Here's the key: Shoryuken, in a great location in Tokyo. You're just going to have ultimate liquidity on this one, because you're always going to be able to sell this unit, and it's at the bottom sort of rung of the Tokyo market. However, it has the weakness of it is that since this unit is under 30 meters, okay, usually it has to be over 30 meters for the Japanese domestic market to get financing for it. So if you want to sell this unit, you're only going to be able to sell it to investors, not end users, and that is the weakness of it. Having said that, I think you could potentially rent this. In some ways, that's why this sort of real estate is better. My argument is that this kind of real estate in locations like Jimbocho is basically Tokyo Gold, and it's going to allow you to have revenue in that sort of way. So we'll come back to if I can find it again after having moved away from it. I think I found it right here. So in some ways, this real estate is better in that it's equivalent to Tokyo Gold with its location, and it's just going to be able to allow you to have revenue or cash flow with it. Kind of try to move the map in here a little bit closer. You can see it's right here. It's close to all the stations right here. We'll expand the map. See if we can grab the Google Maps golden guy and land them right in front of the building right here. You can see the proximity of Konda Station right there, just here to the south of the unit. Oh, I've landed us somehow in the station itself. That's the JR Chuo line. Oh, Tokyo Real Estate, man, what have you done here? What have you done? That's how good this location is. Seems like it's escape from New York. Let's see if I can get off it here. Maybe I'll have to go back from there, and we'll try to expand it here. Maybe I'll just try to do this in terms of the satellite picture. There's too many stations right here, and I guess where I landed us right there, it lands us right onto the subway station underneath the road right here. Can we see down here into this building? I'm not sure we can see it or not. You can see the ultimate location of it right here. We'll try to back us up. You can't really. This is the bottom end of the Tokyo market. Best location. We're trying to invest in Japan like smart investors. The Japanese banks are collateralizing all this real estate in here is being collateralized by the Japanese banking institutions. All the units on this page are collateralized, or if they're going to be sold to another user, they're trying to access this, or the Japanese institutions want to collateralize all this real estate in here. So that's why you want to be involved in Tokyo real estate. It's just because the banking system is underneath it, and they're the most powerful group in Japan. And if you're able to get financing for something like this, it's a little bit different, because these kind of commercial units, you cannot get things like the 35 flat. For things like the 35 flat for Tokyo, you need units that are over 35 meters. But again, you can get 35-year financing at 1.87%. Anyway, an interesting listing here in Jimbocho today. You can see right here the status of the market. Most of the stuff here in this area is all red pill. This is going to be 800,000, or what is it, $3.2 million Canadian for us. So $3.4 million Canadian. Let's push this other one right here. Click this one on here. 1.7 million Canadian. We're looking at fractions of this. So the stuff that we're looking at right here is getting you into this neighborhood where everything is expensive, okay, for really the lowest common denominator. If you're interested in a unit like this, you can always come here to my Instagram, Tokyo Real Estate Man website. This is the Instagram here. You can DM me there. You can get a hold of me through the comment section if you'd like. Anyway, the last way of getting a hold of me is through the website, Tokyo Real Estate Man website. Talking about a lot of stuff in this video today. A lot bit of philosophy. A lot of bit about really the gold bug or the silver squeeze that's happening right now. A little bit about the princes of the yen and power in Japan. And the other thing is like talking about really one of my favorite analysts. If you have a chance to watch some videos from this gentleman, Alex Craner. Alex Craner isn't really new to me, how he talks about this. I've really known this for years. However, Alex, he's very brave, and he articulates it in ways better than I can. So I'm a real fan of him, and you should watch some videos from this man, because he really explains it really well. And the one thing that he really explains really well that I touched about in this video is the effectiveness of the national system. Anyway, another video here from the Tokyo Real Estate Man. Always happy to make another video. いつもこのチャンネル見てるありがとうございます。今日の動画は終わりです。